A circular from Acting National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani, dated 25th September, has kicked off the government's latest round of austerity measures, which takes effect immediately in the entire public service, including the counties. According to the circular, foreign and air travel for civil servants will be minimized and confined to the economic class, while delegations accompanying cabinet secretaries should not exceed 4 persons, including the cabinet secretary. Delegations flanking principal secretaries and chief executives will now be limited to 3, with benchmarking tours, a favorite for public officers in national and county governments, now suspended with immediate effect. Also to be hit by the new austerity measures is the use of government vehicles before and after official working hours and on weekends by public officers who are not on duty. Accounting officers have also been directed to be vigilant on the use of civilian number plates on government vehicles, among other non-core expenditures like hospitality, entertainment, and provision of newspapers to staff. Treasury cites high expenditure, low revenues, and high borrowing levels as justification that the public purse has to be tightened. The new austerity measures come in the wake of a warning by Acting Finance Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani, warning of brutal spending cuts to recover 700 billion shillings in fiscal deficit.
I want to emphasize that the cuts will be brutal, will be sustained, and without option. And it's high time that we adjust accordingly, because the success of this government will depend entirely on our dignity as a country to be self-sufficient in our own development priorities.
The new austerity measures, which also include a freeze on budgetary allocations to new projects, except the Big Four, are part of the government's plans to reduce the fiscal deficit by half, from 7.7% of the gross domestic product to 3.5% of GDP by 2022, an ambitious plan that would require more than 300 billion shillings in spending cuts. In the financial year 2018-2019, Treasury says revenue collection was below target by a tune of 91 billion shillings amid rising expenditure pressures.
The government will continue with the reprioritization of expenditure so as to align with its priorities of the Big Four agenda. This approach will continue in the medium-term budget to ensure that spendings reflect the development agenda.
This is not the first time Treasury is talking tough on austerity measures. Suspended CS Henry Rotich made a similar pronouncement that did little to tame wasteful expenditure in the 2 levels of government. In the latest austerity measures, analysts cite the government's increasing expenditure, low revenues, and a ballooning public debt are some of the concerns for the economy. Apul Kamau, K24 Evening Edition at the National Treasury.